Hey everyone, today we're going to be making this cute tassel bow. If you are new here, thanks for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. First, I have 7 different narrow ribbons. You can use different widths, and they are cut to 40-inch pieces. This is because for this bow, my tail, I want these all hanging 20 inches down. So you're gonna need 40 inches. Then I have a 2.5-inch wired ribbon. I have 2 yards of it. And then I kept one of the narrow ribbons that I'm gonna use to cover the center, and a piece of floral wire that I've folded in half so there's a loop on one end. So first I'm gonna move all of the narrow tassel ribbons just up and out of my way so we can make the bow first. I used some lace, there's trims, 5/8 inch width, 7/8 inch, you can pick whatever. But for the bow, you're gonna want a 2.5 inch wide ribbon. And I'm gonna measure out how long I want the tails. I'm doing, let's see, 21 inches. I'm gonna gather here. And then we're gonna make our first loop. So for this bow, I'm just doing 1 loop on each side. And so I'm going to be using 13 inches as the measurement. So 13 inches I measure out, and then I gather the ribbon right here and I bring them together to make the first loop. So you have the tail here and then the loop on one side. Now we're gonna make the next loop. And again, you wanna measure out the same, just 13 inches. Gather it, and where I gather, I bring it up and over to the center, and then there's my other tail. So this one is just a real simple bow. In the future, I'm going to be teaching 2 loops on each side, or layering bows and then adding the tassels on. So I'm going to take my piece of floral wire, and where the loop is, I'm going to hold that with the bow in my right hand. And with my left hand, I'm going to take the ends of the wire, go around the bow and through that little loop, and I'm going to pull it nice and tight. And I'm going to do a double knot here. The next step, we're going to be attaching the tassels just right onto the top of this wire. So I'm going to knot it and just move it over to the side. Now for your tassel ribbon, I pre-cut them all at 40 inches, and I'm just going to grab them all by the end, each end of the ribbon. It's just the easiest so they don't all get tangled. And it doesn't matter, I'm not laying them out in a certain order or anything. I'm just picking them all up just randomly, holding one end, and I'm going to fold it in half so that I can find the center of the ribbon. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it, because if you end up with a piece that's longer, you can always trim it. But you want to find where the center of the ribbon is and just pinch them tight together. And I'm going to add this right onto the top of this bow, and I'm going to use the same wire to double knot around all of these ribbons. Now to cover where the wire is, I kept one of the narrow ribbons that I'm going to use to wrap around the bow. But first, let's get the wire I tied in a knot. I want to bring it to the back of the bow and tie another double knot, because I'm going to leave this wire attached so I can use it when I'm adding the bow onto a wreath or a sign or decor. So I'm going to do a double knot, and then I have one piece of wire going out each side. And I'm going to divide up the tassel so like each side is separated so that I can easily go around the center with this ribbon. So I'm just going to go around all the layers. Pull it nice and tight, and I just leave about a ½ inch in length because I'm just going to use them as little flaps and glue them down on the back of the bow. All right, so that's glued down, and I have my 2 wires, and I'm just gonna roll the wire up so it's out of my way and I don't accidentally cut it when I'm cutting the tails. So I just kind of roll it up. Now I'm going to kind of tug and pull a little bit on the ribbons, make sure the right side of the ribbons are showing. You can kind of play with them a little bit to make sure they're laying how you want them to lay. Now when I bring them all down, if I have any that are slightly longer than the rest, I just kind of trim them up a little bit. And I wanted the tassel to be a little bit shorter than the length of the ribbon tails for the bow. You could choose to cut the 2½ inch ribbon the same length if you'd like. For the tassel ribbons, I am cutting them, it's just a straight line. But for the bow tails, I am going to do a dovetail. So I'm going to even them out, and then you're just going to fold your ribbon in half, and we're going to cut at an angle. And that's it. That's how easy it is to make these bows, and they are so cute to hang on like any type of wreath, especially like the plain like just greenery wreaths. That's my favorite. But thank you for joining me. Leave me a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.